Welcome to YOUREDDIT TTS. I was raped when I was 11, and probably saved my family's life too. I was a 10 or 11-year-old boy when I lived in Puerto Rico. My parents couldn't afford a rent in Chicago, so we moved to the island with my grandparents, till my mom and stepdad could get on their feet. It never helped that Puerto Rico has always sucked for work and my dad was an abusive heroin addict. I recently finished 4th grade going to 5th grade and I would walk a 3-mile hill to and from school every day of the week. I was still struggling to learn Spanish and it was hard enough trying to make friends that I didn't understand, nor did they. There was this group of high schoolers, 5 exactly, that would play basketball halfway down the hill and I would pass them every day, till one day they asked in English if I wanted to play, and me being desperate for friends I said yes. From there on I would play with them every day for 3 months till one day they said if I wanted to see a deep riverbed down the jungle of the hill. So in my mind I thought that was cool, so of course I agreed to it, but little did I know that they would all gang up on me. It was kinda like a gangbang PRN type thing just to save the detail in that, but they said I would have to do this every day or they would kill me and my family. So me being too scared to ever tell anyone, and scared that my family would get hurt, I would do this almost every day for the next year till they got tired and stopped appearing. But I would see them here and there, and they would say hi like nothing happened, and me still being frightened by them I would say hi back. At this point I felt feelings I never really understood till this day. 6 months later my mom moved to a new house in the same town. Then 5 months later we moved to North Carolina because her and my real dad got back together, and he was a soldier so the benefits were there. At this point I lived my teenage years with this in the back of my mind, never really told anyone and stuck with a feeling that I could never explain. I never went through depression because of this, or anything, because the honest to God truth I feel my emotions were stripped away during that time, so I never blamed anyone except myself for being too scared to ever tell anyone. So I became a military brat, went to Germany, done some fun stuff and never really told anyone, but now I tell you guys. Thanks for taking the time to read my life story. I'm a man who was raped by a woman and hardly anyone cared. This happened in 2015, but I'll never be able to forget it. I dated a woman who had a past history as a stripper, and for the first and last time I decided to look past her history and give her a chance because she claimed to be a new person. We didn't date for all that long, but she wanted me there constantly, and when I wasn't there, whether it's me working or doing chores at home, she would consistently threaten to cheat on me and bring random men over to please her. I had such a low self-image at the time that I struggled to please her and was clinging on to not having her leave. I take full responsibility for not getting out of there early, but did not deserve what happened to me next. About a week later, I was in her living room while she was in the shower and she left her phone unlocked on the table in front of me. I didn't want to be the kind of person to snoop, but notifications started popping up on the screen, all from different guys flirting with her. At this point I couldn't help but look, and I found out she had been sexually flirting back and forth with tons of guys the entire time I was with her. At this point I decided to finally stand up for myself and finally leave her. I didn't have anything but my clothes on my back there, thankfully, so she came out of the shower completely naked, to which I said to her that I knew she was cheating on me and I was done dating her and that I was leaving. She got incredibly aggressive, both verbally and physically, to which she stormed into another room. I turned around to make a dart for it only to find her back in front of me with a butcher knife from the kitchen, and she told me to get in the bedroom as she pointed it at me, and from there told me to take my clothes off and shut up and FCK her. Could I have overpowered her and gotten away? Sure. Could I have disarmed her? Maybe, but I knew that if I even laid a single hand on her in self-defense that she would call the police there and have me locked up for battering an innocent woman. So I had one of two options: risk being stabbed and escape, but also get a criminal record for life as a woman abuser and never be able to find a good job again, or just do as she says and sneak away after. I did what she said and was absolutely terrified. I was just lucky I could force myself to even get semi-erect to slide it in, but I couldn't keep up the performance because I felt like she was going to reach for the knife again at any moment. Frustrated with me unable to stay erect, she got up, called me a weak FCKING faggot and left. I presumed she was having one of her many stress smokes in the dining room again, but thankfully she forgot the knife on the bedstand. So I quietly got dressed, put on my shoes, and tried to sneak my way to the door. She lived on the second floor up a flight of stairs in her apartment, and as I took my first step down I heard her running up behind me screaming and pushed me. Rather than properly tumble down each step I basically flew to the bottom and face planted right into her door. Frantically I reached for and tried to turn the doorknob to get out, but she grabbed a fistful of my hair and proceeded to slam my head into the door. I got it open and darted out as I could hear her shouting, "And don't you ever FCKING come back." There were a few of her neighbors out and about that would have heard that, but not what happened inside, so to everyone out there it would have looked like I did something wrong. I went home and cried my eyes out and was too ashamed to tell my parents, but after telling my best friend what happened he urged me to go to the police right away, so I did. After telling the officer what happened, he snickered and said, "Do you honestly expect anyone here to buy that?" and told me that if I proceeded to file a report then I would be arrested after they asked her whether or not she did it. I never went back to them, but instead I went to government-funded mental health in my city, as I had no benefits, and I spoke with 2 separate therapists on staff, 1 man and 1 woman. After I told them what happened they both had the exact same response: "What do you think you did to provoke her?" I felt sick to my stomach. I hoped that the first woman I spoke to was maybe simply biased and I had to talk to someone else, so I booked another session for the next week. Same thing again. I needed an outlet to cope with this, so I went to Not Alone forums online and posted my story asking if any other men felt as I did. Within 1 hour I was notified that my post was removed and that I was permanently banned from the site. Their reason? Trolling. After PMING the admin about my post ban, the only response I got was that men couldn't be raped. After that, I finally took it to Reddit on an old account, and while I received a couple supportive comments, all of which were heavily downvoted, the rest were asking me whether or not I was gay, that I should feel lucky that a woman even wanted to touch me, more answers that told me men couldn't be raped because rape was about power and control, which no women apparently had. I was called lying MRA scum and even was told I deserved it because it happens to women more. After this I stopped talking about it and had to find a way to cope on my own. This was very difficult. In the last year or so, when talking about what happened to me, I was even branded an incel in social justice circles. I am a bisexual man who was raped by a woman, and the vast majority of people I told didn't care. This is what it is to be a male rape victim in the modern world, if your rapist is of a protected class at least. I intentionally infected someone with STD. I'm 21 years old, and I am a guy from Central West Europe. I was at my friend's house. He was having a party. There were 4 of us at first. Names will not be given. The party started at around 10 p.m. We were having drinks and were goofing around. Some time had passed, and 2 girls' host's friends came around, and there was a girl that I've slept that night with. She had really bubbly personality and I liked her instantly. She had a nice smile and her energy was quite glowy. We talked and laughed and overall had a great time socializing with each other. Party died down and everybody was sleeping, so this girl and I went to the bedroom upstairs to have some alone time. We shared kisses and touches, we were cuddling and I felt really good with her. When things got heated, in one moment she said to me, "I feel really safe with you." This is where I FCKD things up majorly. I didn't tell her that I'm carrying HPV, which I definitely knew I had. So I slept with her, and I broke all of the trust she had in me that night, and I broke the feeling of trust she should have in people in general. 2 days ago I met up with her, we smoked a few joints and I finally told her the truth. She took it hard, although she seemed not to. I feel like utter shit and I hope something or someone will kill me, because I know that I'll never forgive myself for doing this. I passed the hardest exam of the class with a Bluetooth. My professor posts podcasts of her lectures online and I've been struggling with the material. During the exam I wore my hair down to cover the Bluetooth, since it's one of those models that are small enough to fit right into the opening of your ear but still big enough where people know you are obviously wearing one. I had it well concealed behind my long hair and had it connected to my phone, plus there's no policy about turning your phone completely off in class during exams. It just has to be on silent and away from your body and off the table. So I zipped my phone inside my backpack so she wouldn't see the screen light up in case anything were to happen, and had her lecture playing on loop in my ear while taking the exam. Got grades back 2 days ago and passed with 92 out of 100. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe.